It is, because it also involves germ warfare. And this is no secret. It's been on the internet. And when I go to conferences, scientists talk quite openly that if you can affect human cells and animal cells and plant cells with microwaves, you can certainly affect bacterium. I mean, they're cells. And bacterium can carry viruses. And if you can change human cells, you can change bacterial cells. Now, anyone with two brain cells that are working next to each other can soon work out that if you're putting towers up in somebody else's country and you want to, for instance, if you want to bring total economic ruin to that country, all you need to do is introduce a bacterium or a virus which is susceptible to a particular microwave pulse. And you can spread the bacteria or virus all over the country, and if you've got your towers in their country, it's only a matter, when you feel like it, of flicking a switch, activating the bacteria, and you can bring total crop destruction, animal sickness. You can bring any disease you like to that country because you've put the equipment up, you've got the chips, you know the frequency, and you can switch it on from your country and bring total economic ruin, and there is no proof you can get away with it because it just cannot be proved.
Barrie, back to the stalkers. Who pays these stalkers? It's just mind-boggling to think that neighbors, people you know, will get involved with these groups. And there was like some sort of gag order against me up in New Hampshire, where when I tried to talk about any of this, everybody just, they had no idea. They don't know anything, is all they would ever say to me.
Well, the people organising it, I mean, they're not fools. The people organising gang stalking, and this goes on almost in every country, and it's brought up in almost every country. It's obviously paid for by the people who are doing the research. But it's not difficult to go to a person's friends and make up some sort of story. For instance, if I wanted somebody in the United States to be followed or stalked, I could go to that person's neighbours, flash a few badges from one of your security agencies, make up some sort of story to say, you know, you are a risk to society, you could be a risk to the United States. I could make anything up and say, you know, would you just be very careful what you say to this person, and whatever they say, report back to us. And people will do this. If you flash a badge to them and give them a convincing story, you know, they will usually help out.
Wow.
It's not difficult to do.
Now, you know, as we're running out of time here, I want to keep this moving along. I know that you're very concerned with the Wi-Fi. We have like 5 minutes left in the show, but I know that you're concerned with the Wi-Fi's at the schools, and you've mentioned the leukemia clusters. What would you say to the viewers and people watching as far as advice? Like myself, I unplug my wireless modem when I'm not online, and I limit my amount of time online. But what would you give for advice to the viewers?
Well, this is what my paper was based on, and I was asked to write it by the Irish Doctors Association. The Wi-Fi, if you think of a child in school, Wi-Fi is blasting microwaves through the ovarian follicles of girls for 25 hours a week or more. And according to your government's chief scientist, that in 1 to 2 generations, and it gets complicated here, but in 1 to 2 generations, you can expect 57.7% of your school children, when they are mature, to have a stillbirth, a miscarriage, or a genetically born child. Over half. Now, that is going to have very serious implications on your national security. Very serious. For the simple reason that in 60 years, you will be down to 1/8 of your child's population, if it goes that far. People like you and me probably won't be around in 60 years. I certainly won't.
I don't think I'll be.
And the number of your listeners who are around in 60 years and paying taxes will be very few and far between. So you are actually going to, through this stupidity, and for no other reason than following industry blindly, you are going to run your country into the ground, and you are going to lose your standing on the world stage. That is a fact. It is provable, and in my paper I've referenced it time and time again, and I've told what the consequences will be, and it has already started happening because we are seeing this with other mammalian species who do not take sort of 20 years for each generation to be born. Where we are seeing it with cattle and dogs and cats. We're seeing it now, and it's only a matter of time before it comes to humans. So by having Wi-Fi in schools, instead of paying that little bit extra to have a fiber optic cable or telephone line, you are actually going to lose the validity of your country. And that is a fact.
Barrie, I want to thank you very much. And we are running out of time. We only have less than 2 minutes left. And I appreciate your information. I certainly want to do the same arrangement that we did, and I want to have you again on the show sometime in the future. And I certainly plan on staying in contact with you. And again, Wally, you want to say anything? You didn't get to say anything.
No, I know it. Well, you guys know what you're talking about. I'm new to all this, and I agree with some of the things you say and all that.
Sure.
Big time, big time.
Okay.
But what about that magazine that...
Oh, yes, thanks, Wally.
Yeah.
What's the name of that magazine that your article is in, Barrie?
It's in. They haven't put the whole article in, but they've put the relevant part in. It's called NEXUS, Nexus.
Okay, I've actually...
It's the. If you go into a big bookstore, it's in all of our bookstores. If you go into a magazine store and go to the science department where you have Scientific American and all those, it's NEXUS. It's the October-November edition. It comes out every 2 months, and I am on page 19.
Great. Very good. Barrie Trower, thank you very much. And one last thing, we always end the show by blessing everyone. God bless everyone. And Barrie, I know you made a comment how the people responsible, what they're going to say before God, and that is a very strong point, and I thank you very much for that.
And we're trying to wake up
My
America.
pleasure, sir.
Great. Thank you, Barrie. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, sir. Good night.
You too. All right, listeners, we're fading out real quick. We only got 1 minute. Stay tuned. There's another show on. And for last week's show with Laurie Hopkins Cavanaugh, it's about Common Core. You don't want to miss it. It's a good show. It'll be coming on right after this show. Wally, wake up, America. Good night, guys. We'll see you next week.
We had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
And I look forward to continuing this dialogue in the months ahead. Thank you very much, everybody.